Hello and welcome to my podcast, Just One Question. This is your host, Neelakshi Sengupta. Today we have with us Brian Tellis, a man who wears many hats. From being a singer, an actor, producer and a radio star to an ad and event entrepreneur. A name that many Mumbaiker will recall with a happy smile. Let's find out from him, where did it all start? The mic is all yours, Brian. Tell us all.
So, as a young kid, young impressionable, I started, my love was beyond theatre actually. It was for the performing arts. We never used such large terms when I was growing up. I loved music, to listen to and to sing. I loved theatre. And I loved watching dance. I have two left feet, so that doesn't work for me. But I love watching dance, still do. And we had and still do actually, have a small effort in the suburbs in Bandra that we call the Zonals very fondly. It's in its 64th year.
Okay.
And I kind of very excitedly involved myself in both the theatre and the music aspects of that competition. And that really was the starting point for me. And over the next few years, in my early teens, into the early 20s, I did a fair amount of amateur theatre and music. And then of course it grew from there, but it started very early in my life. I was fortunate to have an avenue to express my love and passion for the arts, performing arts.
Tell us about your first theatre experience, Brian. You had to audition for it, you had said, isn't it?
So my first experience in theatre was really something interesting, to say the least, for me at least. I did mention about the zonals where we had 4 one-act plays competing against the other, and I was this young impressionable, like I said, and I was invited to audition for a play that was called Barbed Wire Blackboard. It was about a prisoner of war camp in Germany. And I found that very intriguing. Of course, I wasn't built like a soldier. And then they explained it to me that I might fit the role because if you were in a prison camp, you weren't fed. So if I looked starved, I'd actually look the plot.
All right.
So I go to this audition and I'm told that the play has been written by a certain Imtiaz Khan and is going to be directed by a certain Amjad Khan.
Amazing.
And they were neighbors to me. They lived opposite Mehboob studio. And they looked like a really fun lot of guys. Their method and language of communication was fantastic. They appealed to me straight. I was this really young guy, never hit stage before. And the next 20 odd days, I forget exactly how many days we rehearsed, was just a complete revelation. I must add that I didn't have a single line in the play. I was one of those soldiers, prisoner of war camp who sat by the side and suffered silently. It was such a brilliant experience for me. Of course, the two gentlemen I'm talking about, both the writer and the director, went on to wonderful careers in film and in theatre. In fact, Amjad got the Sholay offer right at the end of our play being put up. Incidentally, that play won. So that first experience of theatre to me is still such a strong, cherishable memory.
That's quite an incredible way to start. Such beautiful memories, I must say. Tell us more, please. How did your acting career progress ahead?
So like I said, my first experiences on stage, be it as a singer or be it as an actor, was this tiny little effort in the suburbs called the Zonals. And I got noticed there and got invited to do a musical production. I think it was back in 1984-85 by Noel Gordon and Krishna Bhargava, or Bugs as we know him. And we went on to do the stage version of Grease Lightning, where I played the narrator, a role that Louis Banks, who was doing the music, and the choreographer Carla Singh and the director Bugs Bhargava put together. So I was the protagonist, the storyteller actually in this, the Sutradhar, as they say today, of this wonderful love story, which is based on the movie Grease, or the film Grease.
Wow! All the stalwarts were under one roof. Quite a list there. What came next?
After Greece, Alec Padamsi actually saw me perform and invited me to play Perron in what they called Evita II, which was the second run of Evita in the city. And that, as you might imagine, for most people, and certainly for me, was a privilege, because the man was really, really a notch above in whatever he did, be it advertising and certainly in theatre. So that was a privilege, and it was huge on learning for me, doing Evita, with Alec specifically.
Of course. He will always be the god of advertising and the English stage. I'm sure a lot more followed, right?
Then went on to do a few things. I did a few musicals on the side. I did Annie. We did The Witness, which is more a spiritual based one. Very early in my career, we did a story of the fourth wise man called Artaban, which had a wonderful cast again. So I've done a few musicals on the side, but on the recognized stage, it was Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is another musical that I played in back in 1979 actually.
Really, treasured memories there, Brian. And I have tons of questions I want to ask you. But that will be for another day. For now, I shall take your leave. We'll catch you soon. Thanks for listening in, folks. I'll be back with more. You have been listening to Just One Question, and this is Nilakshi Sengupta signing out for now.